Oh my God. I've gained an extra 10k in debt. How is that possible? That is insane.
My mate sent me that because people are getting pretty pissed off about their student loans going up instead of going down, to the point that UK MPs have launched an inquiry. In fact, some MPs have called these Plan 2 student loans, which are the ones that any of us who'd graduated in the last decade or so would be on, predatory, a scam, and the type of deal a loan shark would make. So I decided to find out why exactly these loans seem to just be ever expanding. And honestly, it can be summed up by this graph and one word: interest. Even if you're handing over a regular amount from your salary every month, that's getting dwarfed by the amount of interest being added each month. Here you can see that the interest being added is 3 times more than the repayments from the last year alone. Take Bryony's statement, for example, which she sent me. The amount she owed at the end of the year was $3,000 more than what she owed at the start of the year, and the amount of interest she owed was 3 times that of what she repaid.
There's no way I will ever be able to pay this off. And I've been in full-time employment ever since I left university. I had absolutely no idea that it would be at this amount.
Also, one thing you might not know is that you start accruing interest from the moment you start your uni course. Graduates say they're on target to pay off somewhere between £100,000 and £150,000, while the sum that they borrowed was closer to £60,000-70,000. It really does snowball out of control. And this is basically because when the UK government tripled student fees back in 2012, they whacked on some pretty nasty interest rates on the student loans linked to inflation. Now, to be fair, the student loan does get written off after 30 years, and the amount of interest doesn't impact your kind of monthly payments from your salary because that's based on how much you earn. But the real problem here is that when you're paying back a debt, you expect it to go down, but definitely not go up. And also what kicked all this off again is that the UK Chancellor has just frozen the student loan repayment thresholds. Basically, this will mean that people on lower wages will be paying earlier as wages rise with inflation, but thresholds for payments don't. Ultimately, it's hard to see this as normal, especially when you compare it to other generations. Even people who graduated 15 years ago don't have this kind of debt. As this becomes harder to justify, the UK government is under more pressure to actually do something about it. Some ideas are to put a cap on the amount of interest students can pay, or to stop linking it to inflation and make it more of like a normal tax. Because do we really want students to have this huge expanding debt hanging over their heads for decades to come?